tribe called as Eskimos. Eskimos people, they make igloo out of um, snow right now. So in the snow, what basically happens? How igloo basically them helps them to keep themselves warm. Yeah,
How, sir?
igloo basically, if you were to look at the structure of igloo, it somewhat looks like this. Look, igloo will somewhat no look like this. That is the entry. That is the igloo over here. So igloo actually helps us to keep our body warm. Basically, what happens? Igloo that is made up of ice over here, it will trap a large amount of air inside it. Right now, a large amount of air is trapped inside this. And we know, is air a good conductor of heat or a bad conductor?
Sir, it's a bad conductor.
Bad conductor of heat. Bad conductor of heat. So what will happen? You will lit a fire inside this igloo. Not a big fire, a small fire you will lit inside the igloo. Thereby the air will become warm. But since air is a bad conductor of heat, so it will not allow the heat to pass outside. So thereby inside of the igloo remains warm. Right now.
Yes,
So
sir.
that is how igloo is used by the Eskimos during severe cold. Okay, they are built by the people to live there in the cold deserts. Now then we did talk about convection. Okay, so in the case of convection, we saw that it was the process by which heat is transferred in liquids and gases by actual movement of the molecules, right? Okay,
Sir.
and this convection can only take place in liquids and in gases, but not in a solid medium. Okay, and why this convection can only be observed in liquids and gases, and why not in a solid medium? Have you ever thought of that? Yes, why is it so that convection can only take place in a liquid and gaseous medium, but not in a solid medium? Yeah,
Sir,
Tehsin? Hmm.
sir, because the fluid, so the fluid, the molecules,
Hmm.
this first in the solid, the particles are lot in them, so that so they get more quickly heated up more quickly.
Okay, look here. We know that in the process of convection, there is actual movement of particles taking place. So for the particles to actually move, they need to have free spaces now. They need to be free. They need to be available for free movement now. Give me a moment. Someone's on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Back to what I was saying. In the case of convection, I'm saying that it only takes place in liquid and in gaseous medium. So in the liquid and gaseous medium, what we get to see that molecules are having spaces between them. Hello, right now, Tehsin? Yes, Abdul. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? So they have spaces between them. So thereby, what will happen? They can move freely from here to there, right? That's how they will conduct the heat. That's how they will conduct the heat. That's how they will move in the fluid. I hope that is clear now. So because particles of a liquid and gases are free to move, thereby the process of convection is seen in them only, right now. So why convection cannot be seen in solid? Because the molecules of solids are not free to move free to move, right? And in the case of solids, what basically happens? There is a strong molecular force between the two molecules. You know, any medium which you have, any material which you see, it exists in that shape because there is a molecular force between the two molecules present in them. What do I mean to say by that? Take example of a solid. A solid stays in the state of solid because the molecules inside them are pulling each other. They are pulling each other. There's a force acting between the two molecules, molecule 1 and molecule 2. They are pulling each other right now, right? So every molecule present in a solid is actually pulling each other. They are withheld to each other due to a force between them. That force has been called as molecular force.
Yes,
Getting
sir.
it what I'm trying to say? That's why the particles of the solid does not break away. And how the state actually changes when you actually heat a solid material. Now what happens, the force between them becomes
Uh,
too large, and then they break away free. Yeah, yeah, that's it.
are you going to ask questions later?
Question from this chapter.
Yes, like you did yesterday.
Yeah, I will be asking questions. In fact, I have got some questions. I will be asking that. All right now. Okay. So that is the case with the convection currents. Okay. So it's the process in which heat transfers from hotter part of the fluid to the colder part of the fluid with the actual movement of the particles. So that is simply convection. So in the previous class, we did talked about land breeze and sea breeze also, right now?
Yes, sir.
And breeze, you guys are well aware, like breeze, what is simply breeze? Okay. So breeze are basically what? They are gentle wind that flows in the coastal areas. Anyone of you who has been to coastal areas, who has been to Kerala or coast of any state in India or in any other country? Yeah,
No, sir.
no. So if you ever happen to visit the coastal areas, there's a gentle wind flowing there. Right now, Abdul, you will get to see like gentle wind is flowing, and that gentle wind that is coming from the from the ocean sides, that is also called as breeze, and the gentle wind that flows from the land towards the ocean side, that is also called as breeze. So breeze is of two types. What are the two types of breeze? First one is the land breeze. Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
the second one is the sea breeze,
Breeze.
right? And
Yes,
both of them are occurring due to conduction. Huh? ये conduction से हो रहे हैं क्या? By the way, you guys are okay with Urdu or not? If sometimes I've used Urdu words, you guys are okay with that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm fine.
Okay, Abdul.
yes, sir. Okay.
Right now. So is it occurring due to conduction? Yeah. This land
Yes,
breeze and sea breeze. Listen to the question first. This land breeze and sea breeze, is it because of conduction? क्या ये conduction की वजह से हो रहे हैं?
yes, sir.
Yes. I'm saying conduction.
No, sir.
Convection की वजह से हो रहे हैं. Convection here is playing a major role right now. So the temperature in the coastal areas, that they are being maintained by this convection. Okay. जो coastal areas हैं वहां पर जो temperature होता है, okay, convection is playing a major role in maintaining the moderate temperature in those places which are nearby the coastal areas. So if you happen to visit Mumbai, so the Mumbai has neither the climate of Mumbai is neither too hot, neither too cold. Right now, it is having a moderate temperature. The temperature neither sinks too low, neither goes too high. Getting it now?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. And who will explain to me like what were the two things which we discussed? What was sea breeze and land breeze? Hmm? Uh, let me assign them to you. Sea breeze. Tehsin, you define to me what do you understand by a sea breeze?
Um, sir, sea breeze is
Hmm.
sir, the sea breeze the water that heats up slowly and it also cools down slowly,
Hmm.
and warmer particles move upwards and the colder particles will make more place to get it warmer.
It will warm, colder air molecules will move towards the space created by the rising air. Okay, now this is the rising air that is rising up. So an empty space is being created over here. So the colder airs will move in, rush in towards that area to take up the empty space, to fill up that empty space.
Yes, sir.
Okay, continue.
Um, then sir, I don't know after that.
Okay, both of you have a look at this animation first. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If the volume is too much or
Okay.
too low, please do tell me. Okay, if the voice is audible or not. Okay.
It's a sunny day at the beach. As the sun rises, the land warms up faster than the water does. This causes the air above the land to also warm up. Warm air, being less dense, expands and rises, leaving an area of low pressure. Meanwhile, the air over the ocean is cooler. Cooler, denser air sinks over the water, creating an area of high pressure. The differences in pressure and air temperature create a convection current. Warm air over the land is replaced by cool ocean air. This air is warmed by the land and rises, and the cycle continues. Winds that blow from the sea to the land are called sea breezes. At night, the convection current reverses. After the sun has set, the land cools more quickly than the water. Therefore, the air above the land also cools down. Cool air, being more dense, presses down over the land, creating an area of high pressure. Meanwhile, because water cools down slowly, the air over the ocean is still warm. Warm air, being less dense, expands and rises, leaving an area of low pressure over the water. At night, cool air over land moves towards lower pressure over the ocean. This air is warmed by the water and rises, and the cycle continues. Winds that blow from the land to the sea are called land breezes.
Okay. So hope now you guys are getting it, like what simply land breeze and sea breeze is
Yes, sir.
right now. So basically during the day, the sunlight basically warms up the land and the water also, but land warms up more than the sea. So the hot air above the land will rise upwards, right? And an empty space is being created by that. So to take its place, the cooler air from the sea will move towards the land. So this convection current from the sea to the land has been called as sea breeze, right? Now, so to remember sea breeze, just simply understand this thing, that if air is moving from the seaside towards the land side, then it is a sea breeze. Okay. And then the land breeze. Land breeze will be after the sunset. What will happen basically? Land will start to lose the heat right now. So land will start to lose heat faster than the seawater. Right, Tehsin and Abdul?
Yes,
So
sir.
air, air above the land, air above the sea over here, that is warmer because water cools down uh, slowly, and also water heats up slowly, and as well as it cools down slowly. So during the night it is still warmer right now. So the air
Yes,
over
sir.
the sea is warmer at night, and the warm air over the sea will now start to rise up, right?
Yes.
So if they are rising up, an empty space is being created over here. An empty space is created over here. So that empty space will be taken up by this cool air that is over here. So they will rush in to take this space. So thereby a cycle is created over here also. And in the case of night, wind is actually blowing from land towards the sea. Thereby it is called as land breeze. It is
So
called
can
as
you explain again the
Yes, sir.
empty space, how they
Yes, sir.
okay. Let me get a page over here. Okay. Look here. In the case of land breeze, say this is land
Yes,
and say this is a water, any water body, right? And we are talking about night. Look here. So in the case of night time, what happens? First, we need to know that air, water cools down slowly, and it also heats up very slowly. Water will become warmer very slowly, and it will cool down also very slowly. So during the night time, it is still warmer as compared to the land, because about the land we know that it warms up faster and cools down faster, right? So water body is still warm while the land is now cold. So the air above the land is now colder here, right now. Now, and the air molecules above the water body is warmer. So they will start to rise up now. Warm air rises up because they have less density, right? So warm air rises up. You guys must have seen the helium balloons, right? You guys know what is a helium balloon? A balloon filled with the helium gas in it. So you will get to
yes.
see that if you were to just release it, it will rise up in the air. Why? Because helium is a very light gas. It is having a very less density. Thereby, it moves up, right? In the same manner, the warm air here is lighter, right? Asha, you guys tell me, like the hot air balloon, how does it goes up in the air? In order to inflate the hot air balloon,
By fire heat.
exactly, exactly. Right now, Abdul. So like this is a hot air balloon. We basically fire it. Okay, we basically fill in fill this hot air balloon with warm air. So warm air basically it is lighter, it is having a lesser density, thereby it will rise up. In the same manner, warm air is here is simply rising up. So what will happen now? There is a empty space created over here. Okay, empty space is being created over here. But what happens due to the nearby gaseous molecules present in the air, you can't have any empty space in the atmosphere of earth. अर्थ के एटमॉस्फेयर में हमें कहीं पर भी वैक्यूम जैसी सिचुएशन देखने को नहीं मिल सकती है. Why? Because our earth is surrounded by a layer of atmosphere right now, and everywhere there is air molecules. Okay, above the surface of the earth, everywhere there is air molecules. So air molecules from surrounding will run to take up this empty space created by the rising air, right? So what will happen? The air over the land, it is colder now. It is cold air because land is colder during night. Why is it that during the in the deserts the temperature during the daytime is extreme? It's extremely hot, while during the night it becomes very cold. You guys know what happens in the deserts during the night. It is chilling cold. Yeah. If you were to visit parts of Rajasthan or any desert area, there you will observe during the night during the daytime it's extremely hot, right? And during the night time it's cold. Okay, you will actually require sweaters and blankets to spend the night in the desert. So thereby it actually shows, yeah, um, air above the land is colder during the night time. So thereby what will happen? Those cold air will actually move in to take this empty space created over here. To take up this empty space created over here. Right? So warm air is rising up like this. Warm air. And there is movement of the cold airs from the land towards the water body. So this is cold air over here. Yeah, is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Right now. So basically, after sunset, as I said, land will start to lose the heat because we know that land warms up faster and cools down faster, right? So now the air molecules above the land side, it is relatively colder than the air molecules that is over the water body, right? Also, what happens? There's a concept of low pressure and high pressure also. You guys know what happens if I were to have this much of area, okay, and then again this much of area also, right? Suppose there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 molecules of air are there. 6 air molecules. Let's suppose there are 6 air molecules in this much of area, and this is another area. Both the areas are actually same, okay, and say this is having 1 2 and 3, just 3 air molecules. 3 air molecules. So you guys tell me which of the two, this one, A or B, will be having more pressure. Remember, this area A is having 6 air molecules while the area B is having only 3 air molecules. So which one is having a more pressure?
A will be having more.
A will be having more pressure,
Yes.
right? While B will be having lesser pressure. Very good.
Yes.
Same is the case here as well. What happens? The air molecules are now starting to move upwards, which are warmer. So thereby, lesser molecules of air are present over here. This empty space which you are seeing over here now, यहाँ पर air molecules के lesser particles हैं. So lesser particles mean, yeah, Abdul, we were talking about low pressure and high pressure.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
no? So in a given area, if the number of air molecules are more, it will be having a high pressure, or if in a given area there are lesser air molecules, it will be having low pressure. तो यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है ना, lesser number of air molecules are present, thereby यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है, low pressure create हो रहा है, right now. Well, if I were to talk about the air molecules that are present over the land, so there will be more number of air molecules over here ना, क्योंकि वो rise up तो नहीं कर रहे हैं ना. Cold air molecules are heavier, right, Tehsin and Abdul?
Yes, sir.
Thereby
Yes,
they will
sir.
still remain there. Oh, that's why they are having high pressure over here. So also, can I not say that in the case of land breeze, there is a flow of wind from the higher pressure region to the lower pressure region? Can I also not say that?
Can, sir.
We can say that as well. No, Abdul,
Yes, sir.
right now. So one thing we know that in sea breeze, there is flow of air or convection currents from sea to land, right? And in land breeze, there is flow of air or convection currents. Hope you guys are able to understand my handwriting. From land to sea. Also, we can say that air blows from a high pressure region to a low pressure region.
Low pressure region.
Okay. Now, I want you guys to do tell me one thing. Like so far, whatever discussion we have in the class, do you guys are taking notes of the class or not?
Oh, yes, sir. We are taking notes.
You're taking notes now. Okay, okay. So like just this thing which I have written over here, either take its screenshot or either write this one also. Okay now.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah, do let me know when you are done. And you guys attend classes from your smartphone or from a laptop?
Sir, smartphone. Huh?
Or PC.
From PC. Okay, okay. So it will be difficult to take screenshots in the PC. Although there's a shortcut key. There's a key on the keyboard you will see. Using this key, you know how to take the screenshot on a PC?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Do one thing now, just Tehseen, write them down. Okay now.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I don't know how to use PC.
It's simply using computer is simple. Okay. It's the same as using a laptop.
No,
Just
sir.
click
We
on
need to use that.
Okay, screenshot. Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, na there you'll on the keyboard na एक key होता है. That is like PRTSYS and REQ. ये words लिखे होते हैं. You will find this key on the keyboard. So using this, you can actually
Alt GR.
yes.
Which key? CTRL.
This is a key. Usually it is present on the keyboard. ये keyboard पे present होता है. Okay. And using if you were to click this key, a screenshot of your screen will be taken, and then you can actually paste it on the Word or anywhere else in the computer. Usually आप इसे Word पर paste कर सकते हैं फिर using control
So
V.
see it. PRTSCSYSRQ.
Yeah, using that. I think that's the same key. Okay. Usually PRT लिखा होता है. PRT is usually written. Okay. Okay. Anyways, if you guys are done, do let me know. Okay now. Okay. While you guys are writing it now, Abdul, you also do one thing. You also take this, take notes of these what I've written over here. Meanwhile, I will be posing questions to you guys also while you guys are taking notes. Okay. Okay. So आप लिख रहे हैं and please also listen to the question also. Right.
Okay, sir.
Suppose I were to give you guys options. Suppose I were to provide you with a laboratory thermometer. Okay. मैं short में लिख रहा हूँ. Okay. Laboratory thermometer. Clinical thermometer. Okay na. Then if I were to give you a digital thermometer, right? So इनमें से किन thermometers में out of these thermometers in which thermometer you will find a kink?
Sir, in clinical thermometer.
Okay. What about you, Tehseen? Yeah, Tehseen. There's a question over here.
Yes, sir.
If I were to provide you guys with the laboratory thermometer, a clinical thermometer, and a digital thermometer, in which one you will find a kink
In the clinical thermometer.
in the clinical thermometer? Very good. Okay. Yeah, do let me know once you guys are done taking the notes of the question over here, of the points
Okay.
over here. Okay. Hmm. And what is actually the range of temperature in a clinical thermometer?
Clinic.
In a clinical thermometer? The range of reading in a clinical thermometer, is it from minus 35 to 42 degrees Celsius or 35 to 42 degrees Celsius? Yes.
Sir, I finished.
Finished. Very good.
Sir,
I'm
32 degrees Celsius from 42 degrees Celsius.
35 to 42 degrees Celsius.
Or 35 to 42, sorry, sir.
Sir,
That
can you
is
read after all? So I can't understand the handwriting.
okay. Okay. In the second one,
No, after that one, the also.
okay. Okay. After, is it in the first point or in the second point?
No, sir. This in land breeze, there is a flow of air connection currents from land to sea. Also, then after that.
Okay. Air blows from a high pressure region to a low pressure region. Okay. Air blows from a high pressure region to a low pressure region. Okay. Now, all right. Shall we move ahead then? Okay. By the way, what is the normal temperature of a human body? Is it 37 degrees Celsius?
Sir.
Right. Okay. And the materials that will allow the heat to pass through them easily, what do we call them as? Insulator, conductors, semiconductors. What do we call them?
Conductors.
Conductors. Good. By the way, what are semiconductors? Yeah. What are semiconductors? Where
The
do we
ones
use the
that are
semiconductors?
partially the ones that partially transfer heat.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Especially semiconductors are the materials. When we talk about semiconductors, we talk in respect of electricity. हम electricity के terms में बात करते हैं. Okay ना? Not particularly in terms of heat. Semiconductors are those materials which have a conductivity between the conductors and insulators के बीच में इनकी conductivity lie करती है. Right? Some of the examples of conductors like you have got semiconductors like silicon chips. Right? ना कंप्यूटर के मदरबोर्ड में यूज होता है silicon chips. Right? So
And
that is
also glass is a semiconductor.
glass. Yeah. Glass is also a semiconductor. Very good. So there we use semiconductors. There are some other semiconductors also. When you will learn about periodic table, there are different other semiconductor. For example, gallium भी हमारे पास एक semiconductor है, right? Okay, so with this now we move ahead, and then in the case of India, look here, seasonal changes that you observe in the India, there also convection currents plays a huge role, especially the monsoon winds that comes to parts of India from the Arabian Ocean. There what basically happens, as we know, same concept applies here also. Okay ना, अगर हमें सी ब्रीज एक ब्रॉड स्केल पे अंडरस्टैंड पढ़ना है, तो that is a very good example over here, right ना guys? So land heats up faster, especially the northern plains of India. यहाँ पे हमारा northern plains lie करते हैं ना. Okay, where does the Himalayas lie? Here it is Himalayas, right? Okay. By the way, in class 7, what do you guys study in geography?
Right now we are learning the chapter of water. We are learning about the functions and the reasons of why the salty water.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Abdul?
So nutrition in animals.
In geography,
Nutrition
that
in
is
animals or plants. Like that.
Geography.
I think
In-
plants. Plants.
that is the chapter from science. Now I'm asking about geography.
Oh, sir.
Geography is simply earth science. Okay, look. Okay, so basically here what is happening now? Land heats up faster, especially the northern plains. They are plain areas and that heats up faster than the rest part of India. So what will happen? A low pressure is created over here, right? ना, है ना? यहाँ पे low pressure create होगा,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So air molecules, the cold air from the Arabian Ocean or the Bay of Bengal, they will move in towards this low pressure area to take up their space. Thereby, what happens, since mainly Arabian Ocean के side से जो winds carry होकर के आ रही हैं towards the northern plains of India, they are moisture laden. They are carrying huge amount of moisture in them, right? ना, क्योंकि यहाँ से evaporation जो हो रही है, the evaporation that is taking place from the Arabian Ocean, due to evaporation,
Yes, sir.
air में water vapor present है, right? So thereby, this moisture is being brought by the winds that is coming from the Arabian Ocean. We also call them as monsoon winds. Monsoon winds हम क्यों कहते हैं? Because when they come towards the land side, towards the northern plains of India especially, there it leads to precipitation. यहाँ पर rainfall होता है, right? So the monsoon in India, that is also due to convection currents. Hope that is clear to both of you, right? So monsoon is also because of the convectional currents. Now we will have look at some of the application of convection currents, right? So look over here, the very good example of convection current here can be seen in our homes, right? Like where do we place ventilators? Where do we place the air conditioners in our house? Where do we place the room heaters? All of that is
Yes, sir.
because of the conduction over here, right now. So where should we place the room heaters? Shall we place it in close to the ceiling, or shall we place it in the corner of the room? Yes,
Corner of the room, I think.
in the corner of the room.
Yes,
Thereby,
sir.
basically, what will happen, guys? We know that heat that travels in gases, in the gaseous medium or in the liquid medium, that travels due to the process of convection. है ना?
Yes.
And in the case of convection, what will basically happen? The hot air will rise up. है ना, Tehseen? Suppose you have placed a room heater over here. Say this is a room heater. So the air molecules that are close to the room heater, they will start to rise up now. They will start to rise up. And then the air molecules in the other corner of the room that are colder, they will rush in to take the space created by the rising air. So thereby यहाँ पे convection currents generate हो रही है ना. Convection current is being generated over here. Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
due to that, each and every corner of the room becomes warmer then, right? So that's why
Yes.
room heaters are placed on the floor of a room or simply at a lower level. So the heater warms the air near the floor, and when the warm air will rise upward, the cool air sinks to the floor. Cool air क्योंकि ये heavy होती है, it will sink to this towards this room heater, getting it to fill the empty space that is created by this rising up. Rising air. Let me actually write them down. ये हमारा क्या है ना? Warm air that is rising up. This is actually cold air. Getting it now? So that is one of the examples. Then you have examples of ventilators also. Why we place ventilators in the top? Anyone who would like to explain that?
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat it again?
Why is it that ventilators should be placed at the top of a window or in the top of the in the top of the room basically? हम ऐसा क्यों करते हैं?
Sir, give me a few minutes to think, sir.
Okay, meanwhile, Tenzin, what about you? First of all, both of you turn your
Sir, I did
cameras on.
not understand this topic.
Okay, simply question is that why ventilators are placed in the top part of the room? Okay. Hmm. Why basically ventilators, or either we talk about exhaust fans also. Look, this exhaust fan that is usually used. Okay, it is fitted near the ceiling of the kitchen. And talking about the ventilators also, this is fitted near the ceiling. सीलिंग जो हमारा होता है वहां पर हम वेंटिलेटर्स को प्लेस करते हैं. Okay, basically ventilators are placed in the top part of the room. Why is it
Yes, sir.
so?
Can
Yeah.
I-
Sir, शायद
oh.
इसलिए क्योंकि maybe
Hmm.
because so that the I forgot.
Mhm. Simple है बहुत ही simple है ये. It has got a very simple reason. Yeah, anyone of
Ventilator
you would like to explain?
ventilators are provided in the rooms.
Hmm.
The top of the roofs, because if the air goes inside the room, it gets hot. It gets hot. Air rises up and flows through these ventilators, and thus cool
The school.
air at button.
Hmm. Okay. So basically, Ahmad is basically saying that in the case of here, why ventilators are placed in the top of the room, in the top corner of the room. Basically, what happens? We know that warm air tends to rise up. Warm air tends to rise up. So whatever
Yes,
warm air is being produced inside this room, it needs a
yes,
escape. It needs to be taken out of that room. So, so in order to warm air to escape from the room, ventilators are placed on the top corner of the room, basically, so
yes,
that
sir.
a warm air can move outside of the room. And also windows, you will never place windows in the top side of the room. Basically it will be placed in the middle of the
Middle
wall,
of the wall.
so that cold air can actually move inside the room. And why
Yes,
the
sir.
ventilators? Warm airs will move outside of the room, thereby keeping the temperature of the room in a normal
Yes,
range. Getting it now, guys?
yes, sir. Getting it.
Same is the concept with this exhaust fan also. Here also,
Uh,
basically,
no.
usually this type of exhaust fan, this is fitted with a ये जो आप इस तरह के exhaust fans देख रहे हैं ना, they are also fitted with a fan that actually sucks up all the warm air and takes it outside of the room. And then you have got a simple exhaust fan that is fitted in the Indian homes. You will basically get to see this type of fan as well. Okay, that also does the same thing. It will basically suck up all the warm air and it will be taken out of the room, right? So hope the application of convection is clear to both of you now.
And sir,
Yeah.
can I explain what is the use of exhaust fan?
Yeah, we just explained that it also works in the same manner. Okay, you if you want, you can explain it.
Okay, sir. Exhaust fans work by removing unwanted odors,
Hmm.
moisture, smoking, and other
Hmm.
pollutants in the air. When steam, moisture are in the air, it can cause mold to develop.
Hmm.
When you utilize an exhaust fan, the
Hmm.
steam released outside, which helps you control mold in your
Exactly,
home.
exactly. So it is helping us keep the room clean in a variety of other ways also, right? So whatever pollutants are there in the room, that will be taken out using the exhaust fan. So thereby it also limits the growth of fungus molds in the room, right? Now, so if you were to also see like an area which is having a very poor ventilation, वैसे areas जहाँ पे ventilation poor होती हैं, so thereby most probably what will happen, moisture will be locked in that area. Moisture वहाँ पे locked हो जाती है उस area में, right? So due to that moisture, molds can actually develop. That's why in order to it's important to maintain a proper ventilation in the room, right? Okay. All right then. So next thing is basically radiation. Okay. Anyone who knows about what is radiation basically would like to explain?
Radiation, sir.
Mhm.
Wait, sir.
Sir, it's
Th-
the light that the sunlight that comes in the earth. They can also be called
Mm.
UV rays.
Yeah, exactly. Mm. Look over here. In the case of radiation, the example that you gave, that is also correct. Okay, now. So if you were to look at the case of radiation over here, look at the sun from which electromagnetic waves are coming towards the surface of the earth and interacting with different surfaces on the earth. So here there is also transfer of heat. Transfer of heat energy is there from this hot body to this another body. Okay, now here the thing is there any kind of material medium? If I were to talk about a material medium, look over here. अगर हम बात करते हैं, say this is earth and 150 million kilometers away lies the sun. This is sun and this is earth, and our earth is having a coat of layer that is simply atmosphere, right? And beyond that lies emptiness, जिसे हमने कहा है space कहा, which is basically vacuum, right now guys? So now the
Yes,
thing
sir.
over here is that the light rays that are coming from the sun, it is actually passing from a space, from a vacuum medium, from a vacuum, and then after that it enters the atmosphere of the earth and then finally reaches the surface of the earth. Yeah, Tehseen? Yes, Abdul?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So here we get to see that light rays are actually traveling from this hot sun to the cold earth, to the earth basically, and it does not necessarily requires a medium. यहाँ पे कोई medium नहीं था ना. It's there is no medium over here, right? So radiation is that type of transfer of heat in which a medium is not required. Okay. Basically, the transfer of heat energy from a hot body to a cold body directly with or without the presence of a material medium that has been called as radiation. All right, now. Okay. So that is simply called as radiation. And now if I were to talk about conduction की अगर मैं बात करता हूँ, if I were to talk about convection, and if I were to talk about radiation, out of all three, radiation is the fastest mode of transfer of heat from a hot body to a cold body. What I just said over here, that radiation is the fastest mode of traveling of transfer of heat from a hot body to a cold body. Getting it? You guys are getting it or not?
Sir, yes.
Yes, sir.
I think because the sun and the fire are really hot, and they
Uh,
they put rays
Mm.
in it so to make it transfer heat more easier.
Yes, exactly.
I think
Mhm.
finish this conduction, convection, radiation.
Yeah, today we will try to finish it now. Radiation, we will at least try to finish this one. Okay, now.
Okay.
So then there will be like one or few more topics we need to discuss. That along with that, along with the NCERT exercise, we will cover that in the next class. So what we basically discussed here, that radiation is the fastest mode of
Sun.
transfer of heat.
Oh,
Not
heat.
just sun, not just sun. Even in a
Yes, sir.
fire, even in the fireplace, if you were to light the woods, there also heat is traveling to us by the process of radiation. So look here,
Yes.
radiation में क्या होता है ना, heat actually travels in the form of rays. It travels in the form of rays. And in fact, it does not necessarily require a medium. Again, medium nahi bhi hai, then also heat will be transferring via the radiation. And in the case of Earth, if you were to light up woods, there it is actually traveling in a medium. So medium maybe ये travel कर सकती है. Without medium also it will be traveling. So the reason why it is the fastest mode, because medium की यहाँ पे limitation नहीं है. Reasons if I were to quote, one is that no medium is required. Actually, medium obstruction nahi hai iske liye. It's not the limitation. Second thing is that heat here travels in the form of rays. Heat
Yes.
यहाँ पर rays की form में travel करती है. Okay. So whenever you sit near a fire or a room heater, heat does not reach you by conduction or neither by convection. जब भी आप एक रूम हीटर के नजदीक बैठते हैं, जब भी आप एक रूम हीटर के नजदीक बैठते हैं और फायर प्लेस के नजदीक बैठते हैं, so their heat is actually not reaching through you either by conduction, neither by
Yes.
conduction, nor by convection. Getting it, not Tahseen?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Right? Getting it now. Why heat
Yes.
cannot actually travel to us via the process of conduction? Anyone who can explain to me? Because हमें पता है why heat cannot travel to us from a fireplace or from a room heater. Why the process of conduction? Heat हम तक रूम हीटर और फायरप्लेस से कंडक्शन की वजह से क्यों नहीं पहुंच सकती है? बिकॉज हमें पता है ना, एयर इज ए पुअर कंडक्टर ना, बिकॉज एयर इज ए पुअर कंडक्टर ऑफ हीट ना गाइस. हाँ, we did talked about good and bad conductors of heat. So air was one of the example of it, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And अगर मैं बात करता हूँ कन्वेक्शन की, so look over here. In the case of convection ना, ये हमारा रूम हीटर था. For example, a diagrammatic representation है ये. So here warm air तो ऊपर rise कर रहा है ना. Warm air is not rising in this. ये आपकी तरफ तो नहीं आ रहा. Suppose you are sitting over here. Okay, suppose आप यहाँ पर बैठे हो. So warm air ये आपकी तरफ तो नहीं आ रहा है. It is not coming towards your side. Warm air rises upward ना, and not the sideways. So the reason why it will not travel by the process of convection, because warm air is rising upward and not sideways.
Yes, sir.
That's why the heat of fire or room heater reaches you directly by the process of radiation. Getting it now? So
Yes,
हमें
sir.
पता भी है कि in fact radiation को कोई material medium की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So in the next class we will be talking about absorption and radiation of radiant heat. क्या होता है? What
Sir?
is the concept of radiant heat? We will be discussing that in the next class.
Sir?
Yeah.
Can I
Yes.
explain while heat
Uh,
transfers to us?
Abdul, next class is not just about to start in a moment here. Okay, so we will
Okay.
continue our discussion in the next class. All right.
Okay, sir. Bye.
So bye.
Okay. Allah Hafiz. Bye.
Bye.